Hi everybody, it's Annette from The Art of Intuition, and today we're going to talk about body resistance. How does body resistance affect our realities? So this is a big one, and we've talked a lot about how consciousness raises the vibration of our body if we stay in that higher consciousness long enough, if we start purging things in our reality that are not that consciousness, the higher consciousness we've achieved, that our body eventually raises its vibration. So we've kind of gone over that. So today I want to focus more on what can be going on if you keep kind of repeating the same loops. You feel like you don't believe that what's happening is real. Because a lot of times we talk about kind of reprogramming, not believing the illusion in front of you, saying, well, that's ridiculous. That's not real. I don't believe that anymore. And then when you start going into story, our ego, our human programming is telling us a story about how things have to be, how limiting things are. Don't go into that story. You know, just reprogram to a different story, kind of rewriting history or even rewriting the present moment about what's actually going on to achieve a higher body vibration. Because we stay in that victim mentality, we stay in all that stuff, we don't really move through what we need to move through. We can't kind of push it through. So the body is a critical part to this whole thing, right? But a lot of times we can have achieved a consciousness where we want these things to change and we don't feel like we have a resistance, but they're not changing. But we don't realize we have a resistance to it. So this is kind of a trick I've been doing, because what happens is our body can hold resistance and we really consciously don't realize it. We don't consciously know, oh, I got resistance there. And that's why this isn't coming in the way I need it to come in. I've got an issue going on. Issue is probably not the word, but we're going to go with that one. I've got something blocking me in a sense. And I don't really like the word blocking because we're never truly blocking. We're just kind of delaying. We can delay stuff, but we're never really truly blocking ourselves, and other people really aren't blocking us either. We can just be delaying things. So if you get to a point where you feel like consciously, oh, I believe in this reality. I've given everything I want to this new reality. I consciously have held this consciousness long enough and I don't know really what's going on. Check your body resistance to it. And the way you can do that, let me throw one thing in before I tell you how to do it. Wait for it one more minute. Oh no, I forgot what I was going to say. Give me another minute. I never cut these, so I don't really want to do that. I'll see if I can get it back to where I was. This happens all the time when I stream, but usually not when I do a video. Damn. I might have to start this again. Let me see if I can start a little bit, backtrack a minute, and then see if I can circle back around. Oh, now I remember. The reason why we keep getting, well, one of the million reasons why we keep getting a reality and looping through it is because we have resistance to the reality changing. So we have so much resistance in our body that resistance acts as a magnet to pull in something we don't want. So that's why we keep getting the same situation we don't want. Now there's a flip side to that. I don't know if we really call it a flip side, but there's also a reason for that, because we are busting through the resistance by going through it again and again and again and again. It's a harder way to do it. It's a more difficult way to do it. But it could be the way we're doing it because we haven't identified we have resistance to the new reality. And we didn't really think we did. So that's why it keeps coming back. If you're resistant to anything, you're going to attract it because it's such a magnet pull to you. The resistance is so heavy, it's just pulling that thing towards you. And you'll feel that when you start doing kind of some of these tricks. So how I started doing it is I kind of laid down and said, okay, first I want to feel my body with no resistance to something. So I tried to pick something I knew I had no resistance to. I tried to pick someone I really want to have more realities with, and I know I'm really open to certain things, and I know some things I'm probably not as open to after I went through this exercise, and just feel how your body feels. It should feel very light. You should feel kind of like your body is almost going up. You can kind of feel your vibration raising. If you don't know what that feels like, next time you have a moment, just sit down and say, I want to raise my vibration 100%, 500%. I don't usually pick a crazy number like 20,000% just to feel it go up. And then you got to get a feeling what that feels like, what your vibration is currently and how much higher you can go. You might not be able to hold it, at that moment, but you can just feel what that feels like, to feel the subtle differences when you start raising your vibration. So pick something that you know you have no resistance to. And if you can't figure something out, pick something really simple. It can be as simple as, you know I really love my cat, or whatever it is, just to get a feeling of what it feels like. You know, even if it might not be the purest statement in the world, we just want to get a gauge as to what it feels to be open, what you feel when you don't have a body resistance to it. And then pick something that keeps repeating you don't want to repeat. And feel in your body where you feel resistance. You could feel it in your calf. You could feel it in your toe. If you're talking about something that you've been trying to anchor in, it's not here, you might feel it on the right side, because that acts more of the future side, and the left is more the past side, how we view it linearly, if we were viewing this linearly. So just feel how your body feels. If you're having issues with money, look at how much fear you have around not having money, and see how it could be your whole body tightens up. If you're wanting more people like you, more partnerships, or more people that are going to show up, or you want to show up for them, you want them to show up for you. Feel the resistance you have to those types of partnerships. Feel the resistance you have for maybe changing where you live, because that might be a caveat to the new reality you want to anchor in, but you're not quite, but you know somewhere deep down you don't want to move. But you know that might be the caveat. Or maybe you don't know yet that's a caveat. So play around with it. You'll be shocked at the resistance you're going to start to feel in your body. And you're going to know that's what's anchoring us to the old realities. And then ask to release it. Now, it might not be something that just one time. Sometimes I heard people do it one time and they can see a massive change. For me, I've been doing it for about a week now, because there were certain things I really wanted to shift. And I wasn't able to do it with just raising the vibration. It was still something in the way. I could feel it was in the way. And sometimes I can feel I have resistance to something, even though sometimes I don't want to admit it. I can feel it. Certain situations I'll feel like I'm resistant to it. And just because you're resistant to it doesn't mean you want that reality. It could be something that you might not want to happen. But because you have resistance to it, that's kind of the point of why you keep having to go through something where that might be the outcome. If you say, oh wait, I might have to move. I might have to go live somewhere I don't really want to go live. I have resistance to that. I have fear around that. So what do I do in that case? You know, what do I do in that case? The trick is not to have resistance to it. If it's highest in line for you to go do that, know that's going to be okay. But sometimes once we just resolve the resistance to it, we don't have to go through the reality. The issue comes in when we have resistance to it. That's why we have to go through the reality to break down the resistance. We can identify the resistance, and if you feel like you've worked through it in your consciousness, work through it in your body. I think you'll start to see how much we hold on in the body and we don't even know it. So play around with it and keep practicing the art of intuition.